What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive underwater and we're going to talk all about finesse, Ned rig, and hover rig fishing around the spawn. It's one of the best things to throw when the fish are up shallow and they're spooky and you can see them. These baits are tiny, but they can catch you a big fish. So let's dive in. Here we go. All right, guys, when we're fishing finesse, I love the Upgrade Jig by Ebb N Flow. I like the 1/8 ounce finesse jig, and tiny baits get you big bites. This time of year, literally, it's tiny, it's unassuming, but more importantly, it makes a light splash. It falls slowly down there. You can rig them all kinds of different ways, and the coolest thing about the Upgrade, it's gonna keep those baits pinned no matter what you're doing.
Alright, folks at home, the first up here we've got the Menace Grub by Strike King Rage, and this is one of those baits that I love to throw this time of year when the water is clear. I like to throw it in green pumpkin back flake because it looks like young of the year crawfish that are just starting to come out of the rocks when the water hits 50 to 60. It's also very unassuming. A lot of guys throw this as a trailer. I like to throw it naked on that 1/8 ounce Ebb N Flow Upgrade Finesse Jig because it's literally just going to slowly glide through the zone. Remember, this time of year you have clear water and really skittish fish in my experience, and a long cast with this can be super beneficial in hooking up with those fish. I like this on rock transition, sand spots. It comes through there really great, and it's unassuming, which is key this time of the year I found in generating a lot more bites. The second bait that I've kind of stumbled onto this year in my underwater footage is the Z-Man Mulletron 3.3, the loose version. They come in packs of 4. And literally these baits are like fishing a swim bait that is also going to double as a Ned rig. And the beauty of these baits is a lot of times in the spring, fish are bottom oriented and they're guarding beds, nests, things like that. So this looks like a minnow or a sunfish that is actively feeding on bugs or worms on the bottom, making it an easy meal for bass. The Mulletron has a million different colors. They have some transparent, they have some dark, they have matte, they have clear, they have shiny. It's just a bait that you can fish as a swim bait or as a Ned rig. It's going to do a fantastic job. Comparing that to other swim baits, really they don't do the same thing, and it makes it harder for them to really get a feel for what the fish want. But you can swim this, you can hop it like a Ned rig, you can do a lot of different things, and it makes it versatile, and we love baits that are versatile here on the channel. I really like this when fish are going to be bedding as well because it looks like a nest robber. It looks like something that is eating those eggs off the bottom. Will drive bass nuts. Another bait that I've stumbled onto this year is the Helicraw by Z-Man. As you can see, paired with the Ebb N Flow Jig, this bait stands up beautifully on the bottom. This is going to be great on rock transitions. Clear water smallmouth and spots are going to love this bait. It looks like a crawfish coming through there, and it's going to stay on there for a million casts. With the Ebb N Flow Upgrade Jig, it's built to hold these Z-Man plastics, and as you can see, it looks really good. It's got those long, sinuous tentacles on it. The Helicraw looks really nice. On rock transition zones, deep or shallow, this bait is going to shine. Once again, I love finding bars and flats where smallmouth are actively holding. I've previously fished those baits with, your dark sleeper and your traditional jig. As those bites slow down, you can throw this bait in there and generate some more of those bites because it's just another way to fish it. Fishing that naked craw, I found, can generate a lot of bites for you when other guys have come through there with the skirted jig, with the swim bait, doing other things. The tube, once again, just a different way to go about solving that problem of getting bites. Now, one of my favorite baits to throw in the springtime is a merthiolate colored trick worm. Now, you can throw that as a floating worm, but some days the fish will just not commit to it. So I've found out that you can stupid worm these fish. And what I mean by stupid worming or dumb worming is literally putting a light jig head on that worm and fishing it subsurface. I cannot tell you how many bass I've caught doing this when other guys have not been able to catch a fish. My father-in-law showed me dumb worming a long time ago. It's almost like fishing a Ned rig hook with a full-size trick worm. The trick worm just gets bit for whatever reason. There's no explanation to it that I know except for the fact that fish just get angry about it. You can fish all the different colors of trick worm. This one is the best in the fall, and I love this bait in clear water on long casts because it goes against the grain. It's so loud and obnoxious. I think that the fish want to come and kill it, and that's why they hit it. But you can twitch this in the water column. It's not overpowering. You can also bottom fish it and drag it, but literally this is a bait that will generate bites for you and nothing else will. One of my favorite places to throw this is up alongside of seawalls. When the fish come in and they use those seawalls, as you see here, those seawalls have piles of rock up next to them. I love to fish that through these zones along the seawall because those fish sit on those rocks to keep warm. This looks like a leech or something coming through there, and they will absolutely mangle this certain times of the year, spring being one. The next thing that I figured and rotated in is the hover rig. Now here's the Bandito Bug by Guggen Baits. This is a bite getter. You know, you can throw shade on Guggen all you want to, but the Bandito Bug absolutely catches fish. No lie, I've caught probably 200 fish on a Bandito Bug. They're just, you know, a profile that fish like. They are that right shape and profile of a sunfish, and throwing it on a hover rig here with a 2X hook gives you the ability to cast it light presentation farther, but it's still going to stay on that hook. It's still going to stay on there for multiple fish, and it provides you that nice keel slow motion as it falls to the bottom. This is a really good thing to throw up against those seawalls, up under docks where fish are kind of settling there. They don't necessarily want something totally on the bottom, but they don't want it on top either. The hover rig was made to present baits slowly in the zone, and this one just does a fantastic job of doing that. I also am going to like this bait around pencil reeds and different things like that where fish have to come a long way to see it, and a slow fall is a necessity. We get a nice reed bite around here. I learned that in Minnesota. You can transition that to anywhere. You can find pencil reeds, cattails, things like that. This bait alongside of theirs, twitch slowly through there, is going to get bites and generate the hits that you want. The hover rig was made to keep baits. It's that Ebb N Flow style jig head keeper. Here it is with a 5-inch Cinco. A lot of times the guys are throwing Cincos everywhere. They're throwing them Texas rig, they're throwing them wacky. This is just another way to do that. Cincos are also notorious for tearing up and going through a lot of them on 1 or 2 fish. You know, you're going to go through 5 Cincos, especially if they're biting the tail. The hover rig makes it glide and kind of gives it a weighted Cinco approach, but it's just a different way to fish it. We got a video coming up on the channel where Dave is throwing a Cinco style bait on a hover rig and catching peacock bass down in Florida. You know, it's just a different way to present these different options to fish and really show you how it can go through a lot of different presentations and different ways to, present lures to fish that have seen everything and their brother. Finally here we have that 5-inch Cinco rigged on a hover rig hook, and this is a different way to fish that wacky style bait. I like it because it falls with that extra 60-degree bend hook and that weight from the hover rig down, and it kind of keeps that worm off of the bottom, out of the junk. It's a different way, if you will, to present a wacky rig, and it looks really clean. Once again, Dave got onto this by fishing this for peacock bass when he had limited gear, and I really like the way that it falls because it allows you to fish a wacky style hook differently, and it allows you to fish that wacky style worm differently than others. It falls slightly faster but not outrageously so, and it keeps that worm out of the junk on the bottom. Plus, throwing that on a 2X hook allows you to tangle with some giants. A lot of times we get some big fish on some really light finesse gear. We have trouble with bending out hooks, things like that. That 2X hook from Ebb N Flow is not going to bend at all, and this can be a solid way to present a worm in a different manner. And once again, doing things differently can sometimes manage bites, can get you better bites, can get you bigger than average fish. It's something that we pride ourselves in doing here on the channel, and this is just another way to do it, right? Caden fishes the worm a lot. He is excited about the hover rig. I'm going to fish the worm more this year on the hover rig just simply because it's a different way to present a classic technique that's still going to get you bites and might get you the bite of your life.
Be on the lookout for long casts. Be on the lookout for very clear water this time of year. If I am fishing this lure, I am most certainly throwing this on a Handing M1, and the rod and reel, combo is great from handling. I'm throwing this on a 6.6 medium fast action rod for the ultimate feel. The M1 is classic. This is a great rod to throw this on long cast, clear water. We love throwing light baits on those really responsive rods. Guys, if you like what's happening on the channel right now, give us a like, subscribe, hit those links in our bio, buy stuff from Handing, buy stuff from Omnia, help us help you out. Every purchase helps us make more videos and get more lures to do underwater reviews and fishing content with. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We'll see you next time.